That's not a rock.
No, I thought it was gonna feel like a rock.
93% pure iron. 6%.
Blacksmithing involves itself with elements of the earth, specifically pure iron and carbon. Pure iron is of limited use in weapons and tools generally because it's soft. It's easy to work, it's easy to weld, it can be shaped, it's readily available, but it is not that hard and it is not that springy. When carbon, another element, is added to pure iron, you get steel. Ancient man, in a quest to make iron more useful for weapons, began to discover how to combine carbon. Generally, this is referred to as Damascus Steel, the early attempts to create steel. Damascus Steel today, it refers to the aesthetic qualities of combining different alloys of steel. But in the ancient world, it was serious business, and it evolved to a high art form in the Middle East, in Syria, Iran, in India, and, interestingly, on the other side of the world, in Japan. Bandsaw blades and springs are ideal building blocks for Damascus steel, or you can buy new steel, as you see in this stack. As long as one of the alloys is nickel-bearing, you're going to get a beautiful contrast in your Damascus pattern. Do you see the material flaking off of this billet as he's hammering it? Do you see it stacking up in the little heaps of it around the base of his power hammer? That's scale, ferrous oxide. Iron loves to combine with oxygen. That's why steel rusts when you leave it outside, but in a forge, it happens instantly, and it coats the piece with a layer of iron combined with oxygen, which will not weld. Flux melts and coats the piece, keeping oxygen from coming into contact with the iron and forming scale. Scale will not weld to scale, but clean, pure steel will weld together, so the flux creates a clean environment in which the weld can happen. This is a good example of what flux is for and how it works. On a piece of cable, there's lots of little wires, all with surfaces that have to be coated to keep them from scaling. The flux will melt, work its way right to the center of the piece, and exclude the oxygen from all of the steel that you're trying to weld. Cy is 80 years old. That should surprise you. It surprises people who meet him for the first time, and right now I'll just say this. He is the one true Renaissance man that I have met in the 58 years that I've been alive. Think about how much labor this power hammer is saving. If you had a blacksmith and two strikers, each with a 12 or 16 or 20-pound hammer, it would take you a good piece of the morning to make the weld and draw it out the first time. In order to end up creating the number of layers that, for instance, the Japanese used, in excess of 1,000 layers, two men could work for a week doing what this power hammer will do in 2 or 3 hours. You can see that this power hammer has no trouble moving this metal when it's at heat. There are combination dies on his 400-pound Baudry. The flat dies are where he makes the initial weld, keeps the sides of the billet parallel and the uniform thickness. This die, with the tapered, curved edges, is specifically for drawing a piece out. That is, making it longer, minimizing the expansion in width, maximizing the expansion in length. It'll be clean, cut into 4 pieces, stacked up, welded, drawn out, cleaned, cut into 4 pieces, stacked up, welded. The target number of layers is 208. It'll make a beautiful sword. Everything about Cy and Maxine's place is magic. The drive is beautiful, the ground is lovely, but his shop is spectacular. He has a complete blacksmith shop, a complete machinist shop, a complete wood shop, and he can use every tool in it expertly. You walk in and you may be appalled at the disorder. I tease him about it all the time. But you don't have to be very well acquainted before you realize he is driven by design and productivity and innovation. And so watch your step, pay attention, make sure you have your shots, and get ready to see some amazing things happen in this place.